Check out this little dude. I'm reliably informed that these guys are foreigners and they've settled here in Plovdiv. So I'm going to go down to the riverbank and see if we can get a close-up shot of him. So just bear with me, and I've got some good news too, so stay tuned. But let's go and see if we can get a close-up look of this cute little Putra they're called. Let's go and take a look. Alright, so we're down at the riverbank and we're going to go and find this. I think they're called Putra, but they've got a few names. Anyway, so stay tuned. I've got some really good news for those of you who like independent research and content creation, but I thought while we've still got these cute little creatures down here, I might try and get some footage here in beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria. So this is the riverbank. This is the Maritsa River, which runs all the way through this city and all the way to Turkey. Now there goes one. Hold on, let's see if we can zoom in on that one. Where is he? It's hard to see. Oh, there he is. Found him. There he is. You can't really see it in that because he's in the water. You can't really see him. But there's one over here who's out of the water. So we're going to go and see if we can capture this dude. So the story I heard last night, I was out watching some football last night and we were talking about how they've recently cleaned this river. I know it doesn't really look that clean, but trust me, they've done a lot of cleaning around here the last couple of months, and I was talking about how one of the benefits of it is we see more of these otter-like creatures. And then someone said to me, oh, they're called Putras, or whatever the hell they said. And they said to me they didn't used to live here. They only turned up to Plovdiv a few years ago, and when they did, it was big news apparently, is what they said. And I was like, oh really, where'd they come from? And they said, well, apparently they swam up the river from Turkey. They've been making their way, I guess, northwest. I was like, oh, okay. And then someone else said, oh yeah, but they didn't come from Turkey either. They came from South America. And I was like, well, I find that hard to believe. They didn't swim from South America to frickin' Turkey or Europe, did they? So I don't know, maybe the stories that they were imported or something, I'm not sure. But anyhow, yeah, these are cute little otter-like creatures. And they just like to swim in the river and mind their own business. And I've never seen so many of these things. Now, here we go. This is the same one we were looking at earlier. Zoom right in. There he is. Now, what's he doing? Is he eating a plant, is he? Maybe if I sit down, I'll get a better... Because it's too shaky, isn't it? I'll have a seat. And we'll zoom right in on him. And then I'm going to tell you some really good news that you might be interested in. Let's see if we can find a good vantage point down here in beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria, October 20... What's it, the 23rd? I think so. And it was a lovely day today, 20 degrees Celsius, which is about 70 Fahrenheit in the freedom units. Here we go. All right, now let's see if we can get a good zoom in on him. Here he is. He or she, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Or a them. It is 2024 after all. Now look at that. Apparently, they're known as Putras. And so the story that let's just zoom out so it's not so shaky, there we go. So the story I was told was that, firstly, they're not from Plovdiv, they never used to be here. They swam up the river from Turkey. So this river that you can see, I'm not going to zoom out again because I've got a good shot here. This river runs all the way from the west of Bulgaria through to the east, and then it sort of makes the border between Bulgaria and Turkey. Come on, turn around, don't be camera shy, come on. There we go. And yeah, so apparently they've just been making their way up the river over the past few years, and they turned up here in Plovdiv a few years ago, and they decided to make it their home. And I'm like, well, I can relate to that. Of course, I didn't swim here, but there are rumours that I did once end up in this river. That's a long story. Now, what's he doing? Does he know he's on camera? Oh, there he goes, having a bit of a scratch. What does he look like if you zoom in on his face? There we go, look at that. What a cute little creature that is. Now, this is 130x zoom. I reckon he knows he's on camera, do you reckon? He's got that look in his eye. Oh, there we go. What's he doing? Are you eating? Just having a scratch? Yes, anyway, the point is, I don't even know where these things are from, but the story is that they're not really from here, which is something I can relate to. But they like it here, and they've decided to stay, which is another thing that I can relate to. And, well, I've got him on the camera there, so I'll just zoom out so it's not shaky. There we go. This is the camera I bought back in the Flat Earth days. You guys remember how there was that if you buy a P900, you can zoom in on the stars and they don't look like what they're supposed to look like. Do you remember all of that? Well, I got this power shot, which didn't have 90 zoom, it had 85 plus digital. Oh no, now he's off. Where is it? Maybe he's coming over here. So he's swimming upstream at the moment. How good's the camera work, by the way? Very nice. Is it just me or does it look like he's licking while he's going? Where's he off to? Oh, hold on, I lost him. There he is. Yeah, so anyway, see, I've got some good news for you folks. So I was on this Realise radio show last week, and a lot of topics came up. I was a guest on the show, and a lot of topics came up where I was like, the listeners might not really know what the hell I'm talking about. So I took a whole bunch of content that used to be behind the so-called paywall, and I made it available publicly so that any Realise radio listeners who wanted to find out what the hell is this guy talking about. When he says he's done this research or he's got this evidence, he says he's got the documents, he's got the receipts, what the hell is he talking about? I was like, well, you know what? For all the good people at Realise Radio, I will make this available publicly. And that was about a week ago. I said I'd leave it open for a week. What I'm going to do instead is leave it open for another few days. So if you're someone who's new to my channel, but for whatever reason you can't access behind the paywall, either because you can't afford it or because you don't trust giving PayPal your details, or you just don't like supporting independent media, whatever the case is, you can find my articles and my member videos and my podcasts on a whole range of topics available right now. Link in the info box below. And the topics covered, like the main content that I made available was to do with the history hoax. Because I think some people still don't quite understand what I mean when I say this. What I'm basically saying is, if you look at the story of history, whatever the story is today, and you want to find out where did they get this story, I did that. I decided to look into what is their evidence, what books, what documents are they using to tell us that they know what this guy said 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago. So that's one set of content. Plus we do some film analysis, like film reviews at johnlebon.com every now and then. So I've made a couple of the member calls with the film analysis. In the films that we choose, there's a lot going on that if you hadn't really looked into them, you wouldn't realise the different themes or motifs or the occult significance. So we cover all of that in those member calls. Those are available as well. Plus a couple of member videos, including one to do with the war hoax, where I go into a deep dive on here's what they're saying, here's why they might be saying it, now let's look at the evidence. So I'm going to leave those pieces available publicly, like I said, for another few days. And you can access all of them. Links are in the show notes below. And if you want to go and check out my chat with the Realise Radio people, that is available as well. Link in the info box below. To get access to that, you just need to join the Realise Radio Patreon. I think it costs like a couple of dollars. It's basically nothing, really. And of course with that you'll get access to 150, 170 I think they're up to different episodes. Realise Radio and Rambo, the two who host Realise Radio. And I would say most relevant to this conversation is you get the one with John the Bond, which so far the feedback has been sent. If you're one of the people who left a nice comment on that Patreon upload of the JLB chat, that's some really positive stuff you guys are saying. I appreciate that, man. There's like 10 or 15 people who've left a comment, and it's just been fantastically positive. Thanks to all of you. I thought it was a good chat. Hold on, let's just zoom out now. I thought it was a good chat. I thought it was a very good chat, actually. Realise Radio, HV and Rambo. We talked about so many different topics. I was in a bit of a strange mood that night, actually. I was going through all the gears, from first gear to fifth gear, from happy and perky to existential dread. It was one of those days. I'll tell you something, I see lots of people fishing. Lots. I've never seen someone catch a fish. Not once. You know, they must. Sometimes I think like they must catch fish sometimes, right? Like why else would they bother? But then I think maybe they just go fishing just because it's peaceful. See how peaceful it is down here? So you've got, like the city is that direction, right? So that's all your apartments that are looking over the river. And my apartment is one of those. There's so much construction going on here, man. There's another apartment complex getting built over there. I went for a walk yesterday to a different part of town. I was like, I'm just going to go see some other part of town. I'm in the mood for a walk today. The weather's beautiful. I saw like one area where there's like 4 or 5 different, 5, 6, 10-story buildings getting built. I'm like, who's going to live in all these places? This city's population, according to the official story, hasn't risen in 50 years. And the country's population has dwindled in the past 20 or 30 years. So who's going to live in all of these apartments, I pondered. But there is a story behind that. The story is that, well, there are other reasons. There's reasons why people are investing in housing, and it's not necessarily to do with immediate returns on rental yields, as they say. But anyway, the point is, yeah, this is the city. So, well, this is the river. The city is about a 15-minute walk that direction. But then on the northern side, there's, I don't know, maybe a third of the city is north. You can't see it because of all the trees down here, but from up on my balcony you can see a bit better. But anyway, that's the video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, I can see our little friend again. We might get him back in camera, but yeah, this is the river. So I don't really come and sit down here very often, but I do walk up and down this river. If you ever hear me talk about walking up and down the river, this is the river, and I walk all the way down there, all the way down there, and then I keep walking a couple of kilometers east, and I do some exercise, and I walk a couple of kilometers back. But not for much longer, folks. The cold weather it can't be far away, I'm afraid. Overnight lows of freezing, 0 degrees Celsius, 30 Fahrenheit. But in the daytime it's still warm. Look at this, man. This is beautiful. What's this, 4 p.m., 5 p.m? Absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed our little look at my Maritsa River, which I can see from my balcony. I'm just down here on the river bank, as you can see, and yeah, it's a nice day today. And then tonight tonight I'm going to be a guest on somebody else's show. I'm going to be a guest on Paul the clown, man. Paul, the dude who wrote the book about the clowns. No, the Nephilim looked like clowns, he says. So he was a guest on Conversations a couple of months back, and now tonight I'm going to be the return guest. And I'm not sure exactly what he wants to talk about. Which was the same thing with the Realize Radio. I sent an email to HV saying, hey, I'll be on your show, that'd be awesome, thanks, but what do you want to talk about? And she didn't give me a set list. I'm like, well, I talk about a lot of things. Like I've covered everything from the baby hoaxes, like the media fakery, the fake shootings and stuff. I've covered the science fakery, the fake ball earth, spinning ball earth, belief system in the outer space and that. I've covered the fake dinosaurs, but I've also covered things like the ultrasound hoax and the medical industrial system and sync. Of course, I'm big into this idea of sync and why do all these connections seem to happen. I cover a lot of stuff, man. And so what do you want me to talk about? Of course, the history hoax is a big one for me. I love the history hoax topic. Because history is in fact a hoax. Nobody died, nobody got hurt 2,000 years ago in some bullshit war. It's just a joke, man. So I was like, what do you want to talk about? And I didn't get a set list. So that's why the chat with the Realize Radio crew, HV and Rainbow, went all over the shop, because I guess that's what they wanted. And in the end, it turned out really well. We covered so many different topics. So I do recommend you go and check that out. That's one of my favorite interviews that I've done so far, I have to say. And I've been very fortunate. Lots of good interviewers have asked me to come and be on their show over the years, but this might be right up there at the very top. According to the feedback, that seems to be the fair inference. Anyway, we need to wrap this one up. So John the Bond coming to you from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria, as the sun is just going down. And there's some fishes, did you see that? I won't zoom in on them, but just going for a fish. Where's my little Putra friend? Where'd he go? I'm just trying to see if I can find him now. Anyway, I might go for another walk. What do you reckon? I've got 2 minutes left on this recording. Let's see if we can find our little Putra friend. Let's see if we can find him. Why not? Him or her, or... Tell me in the comment section below, did you think that was cute? Was it a cute little animal? I was calling them otters, and then someone said, oh, it's not an otter, it's a Putra. I'm like, alright then. Whatever you say, boss. Oh, there he is. I found him. I think I found him. There he is. Don't worry, folks. We're going to go and look at this Putra. Yes, this is the riverbank. They cleaned it up, but they chopped down a whole heap of trees, which I wasn't very happy about. I kept waking up to the sound of chainsaws, and I would suggest they chopped down a few too many trees. Not that I'm an expert on these things, but apparently the idea of the whole cleanup, the 1 million lev cleanup, was to clean the water, clean the river quality of clean the river quality. And I have to say they did a good job of that, because since they did that, the Putras have gone from just being like every now and then to now they live here. So the Putras are happy. They think that was a good 1 million lever investment on the river cleanup operation. Where'd he go? I thought I saw him. No, he's gone. Well, anyway, that'll do us for today. So leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you like these little nature walks? I've thought about doing this, man. Sometimes I go for a walk. I'm like, I should bring my camera sometime and show the people. Where do I actually live? What does it look like? Maybe they care, maybe they don't. Maybe they'll let me know in the comments section below. Look at this though. Look at this beautiful river. Some people say that once upon a time a A wild man from Borneo swam in this river, and he definitely shouldn't have, and he regrets it to this day. Leave the river to the Putras, I say. Alrighty then, folks, leave your comments in the comment section below and go and check those links. Content that was once just for the members is now available to you, and go and check out Realize Radio with HV and Rambo. They're doing fantastic work. Thank you all very much.